What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a 10-minute haircut tutorial, so stay tuned. We started off by wetting the hair and combing everything in place, making our canvas as clean as possible. Then we moved on to our anesthesia outliners and created our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. Always stretch the skin with your opposite hand to give you more room to blend. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our Anis Masters and create our second guideline. Again, we are using the no guard all the way open. Now that we're done setting in that guideline, we're going back to balding them out. We're applying our shave stick and then moving on to our foil shavers to remove the stubble. Now that we're done removing the stubble, we can move back to our Anis Masters and close the lever as much as possible to remove that initial guideline. Again, don't forget to stretch the skin with your opposite hand to give you more room to blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're going to use this guard and the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the zero guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the zero guard and erase the line completely. Now that we're done with our zero guard, we can move on to the two guard and create our fourth guideline. With this guard, we're going to flick out as much as possible and then also use our comb to feed the hair in. This is going to help us create our silhouette and fade into the bulk. Now that we're done softening up the line with the two guard, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and erase the line completely. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now that we're done with our two guard, we can move on to our clipper over comb method and blend the bulk into the sides. Again, we're grabbing the hair with the comb, then cutting it with our cutting blade, either horizontally, which is debulking, or vertically, which is blending. Always remember you're using your comb as a measuring stick and you're grabbing the hair and pulling it out as much as needed and then cutting. Before you line him up, we're going to debulk the beard with a full guard all the way closed. Moving on to his hairline, he does have a lot of overgrowth, so we're going to make a cosmetic hairline and make it as crispy as possible. Remember to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair won't cut and it's going to be harder for you to line him up. Now we're moving on to the C cup. I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using my corners of the trimmer. Now we're using the no guard all the way open to blend the beard into the fade. Now that we're done using the no guard, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and go right below that. Now we're flicking out as much as possible with our 2 guard, blending it into the 4 guard. Now we're moving on to our NST outliners and we're lining up the back of his beard. Here I'm adding some extra detail with my clipper over comb method, and then also I'm switching over to the 2 guard all the way open to detail. Again, we're moving over to our previous guards to make the fade flow better, because after you're done lining it up, it does reveal some guidelines, so you always want to go back to the fade and detail as much as possible. Before we do the rest of his hairline, we're gonna make sure we wet the top so it's not in the way and comb down all his baby hairs. Now I'm using my NST outliners to make him as crispy as possible, and I'm starting off in the middle, working my way to the sides. Again, make sure not to press too hard because you could bite the skin with the teeth of the trimmer. Moving on to our shear work, we're making sure the hair is nice and saturated so we can get the true length of the hair follicle. Also, we're making our first guideline through the middle of the capitis and then also connecting it to the sides. Remember, you're grabbing the hair with the comb, feeding it into your fingers, holding it tight while you cut it with your shears. You always want to make sure you grab nice and even pieces and you're not grabbing them too large where you're cutting too much hair. You always want to make sure you see the guideline from the previous cut, so make sure you grab small pieces. Now we're working our way near the calic area and we're combing the hair in place, picking it up with our comb and then cutting it with our shears. Now we're grabbing our clipper over comb and we're adding detail as much as possible near the calic area. You can never detail enough with clipper over comb and your previous guards. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Also, if you made it this far into the video, please leave a comment down below telling me you did. I'm 100% going to reply to it. Now that we're done cutting the top, we're gonna move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're gonna apply some shave gels just so it can make the razor slick a little bit smoother. Also, when using the razor, you want to stretch the skin with your opposite hand as much as possible, and then also keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. This is so you don't cut anyone. If your client could take it, it's always best to go against the grain near the beard and cheek area because it makes the beard line pop out as much as possible.